Clayton Bailey here, Green Scene Home Inspection. So I'm here with Roger Wakefield, Texas Green Plumbing, and we're gonna be talking about sewer video cameras. So they just allowed inspectors to start using it. I think it's a bad idea, but I brought my man Roger in here to talk about it. So tell me the ins and outs on what your opinion is about sewer cameras for home inspectors.
First of all, I agree with you. I think it's a worse idea than you do. Just because as a licensed plumber, I've hired plumbers that we've actually got sewer cameras stuck. I've had other plumbing companies call me and say, hey, we got a camera stuck. Can y'all come help us get it out? This is something that, even though they let y'all do it, the home inspectors need to be really careful because, as you know from cast iron pipe, a lot of times we have channel rot.
Yeah.
What happens on channel rot is the camera head will actually go in and drop off if there's a big enough gap there and get stuck. I mean, think about it. What are you going to do at that point? Do you tell the homeowner, hey, we've got to call a plumber to come tunnel under your house and get my camera unstuck?
Yeah.
At least as a plumber, we know what to look for before we get there to make sure we don't get in a situation to make something like that happen.
Now you said an interesting point. I guess you have to be an apprentice for 2 years before you can even pull one of these sewer caps off. Is that right?
Yes, you've got to be a registered drain cleaner passing a test, or a tradesman or a journeyman or anything above. But to become just a registered tradesman in Texas, what, 8,000 hours or 4,000 hours?
Wow.
To come in, and now you're a tradesman. You can work on a single family or a duplex home. But
Wow.
that's it.
Yeah.
Everything in it. The reason is there's a lot of things to this. This line may run back, it may branch off, and it may have other lines coming into it. Most home inspectors are actually just going in through the two-way cleanout, which here in Dallas, like we've talked about, is much easier than just a single cleanout that we get sometimes across the state.
So Austin, San Antonio, Houston, you don't have it as easy as we do in DFW with the two cleanouts. You just have one cleanout. So
unless they've got a house I worked on, because I worked down there in the 80s, and I always put these in. So it's like, I don't care what y'all say, this is nice.
Right.
But most home inspectors are going to go in and just run it to the very end of the line. And they're going to say, look, I don't see anything. The bad thing about a camera is it will not tell you if there's a leak under a house. And the main reason we
wait. Did you hear that? A camera will not tell you if there's a leak under the house,
no,
right?
Not unless, and think about it, not unless it's a major break, a separation where you see roots, you see mud, even bellies. A belly's not a break.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've helped people buy homes that have bellies saying, look, this house has been here 30 years. This belly's been here probably for a while. and it survived.
Yeah.
Bellies aren't great. They can lead to clogs and things like that, but they're not a break. They're not going to lead to more foundation problems.
Yep.
And that's what the leaks do under the house. They help lead to foundation problems, and that's an even more expensive repair.
So let's just talk about really fast. So home inspectors, the latest update, now we have to identify what type of sewer pipe this is. So when this is exposed like this is PVC all day long. But we also have old school cast iron, right? We have ABS.
Very seldom ABS around here. In 40 years of plumbing in North Texas, I've seen 2 houses that have ABS. One of them just recently with the hurricane that we had come through, or the tornado that we had come through.
And for those of you that don't know what ABS is, ABS was a product that was pre-PVC. It was a black PVC pipe, and it was real brittle. Early 70s, I think, is when it was used.
They didn't use it very long. Mainly we went from cast iron to PVC.
Yeah.
They still use ABS out in California. They use it in different places across the United States. Different parts of the country use different things, and we just use PVC all the time.
I've seen some big mansions on, White Rock Lake that have copper drains everywhere, and you're just like, what?
It used to be it.
That's the thing. You're going to spend the money on copper drains. I'm like, wow, that's real fancy.
Well, but think about it. That was even before cast iron, or before they were using cast iron the way that we do now.
Yeah.
I've actually seen 3-inch drain lines. I did a remodel of Republic Tower in downtown Dallas.
Yeah.
3-inch copper drain.
Wow.
It was great when we got it.
Yeah.
That all went to the scrap
That all went to the scrapper on that one that day.
The superintendent got to keep all that, but he always took everybody to lunch.
There you go.
Pretty cool.
There you go. So let's talk about other types of sewer lines, since that's what we're going to shoot the camera on in just a second. So PVC, ABS, cast iron, copper, and then orange.
Old concrete.
And then you've got Orangeburg. Let's talk about that one. So you can run into that one in Austin.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Do we get that one here in DFW?
Not very much. I've heard of people running into it here. I've never run into it here. I ran into it when I worked down in Austin.
Yeah. So I've been told kind of East Austin has that. And for those of you that don't know what it is, Orangeboro is a clay impermeated. It has like wood chips and stuff in the tar, and it's all rolled up and just like
You'll know it when you
It
get
sounds like
into
a
it.
bad idea.
Yeah, and even in Fort Worth, I ran into old concrete pipe.
Yeah.
I did a house from the 1930s that actually had concrete pipe, the sewer main running from the house out to the main.
Yeah.
And it was really neat because running the camera through it, you could actually see the pebbles in the concrete.
Yeah. So another thing I want to talk about really fast is, so this sewer line's here, and we can see the clean out that it's going over there to the street. But just for our viewers out there, how deep is the sewer line under this street here?
You know, you'd have to shoot it and know. A lot of times it's normally 8 to 10 feet deep. This may run out at, it could be anywhere from probably 24 inches to 3 feet. It'll run out. From where that clean out is, I'll tell you that the 45 probably runs right straight after this clean out, and then 45's back over. Then you've got a clean out there, and then it goes out and drops into the city tap at the main.
Wow, so very deep under the street is where it's gonna go out and be. Stay tuned, we're gonna shoot some more video where we actually get the camera in here and show you what it's looking at, so stay tuned. All right, Clayton Bailey, Green Sea Home Inspections. We're back. We're in this house with Roger, and so Roger just pointed out this bathroom and kind of wanted to go over some of the things that inspector could miss very easily about the way this bathroom is set up. So,
and not just an inspector, a lot of plumbers won't do it because it's a lot of work. We know that the sewer main comes in over just back of where the camera is. So there's a branch fitting that should come over, catch this toilet and tub, but you got a problem. We've got a lavatory over here. So chances are there's another branch off of it. Now, most plumbers can't even push a camera up and make 3 turns to get over to a lavatory. But then the other thing is, this lavatory, the vent comes up and probably revents because we know there's just one vent up there. It should come in, tie into the vent for the toilet. If an inspector or even a plumber goes down that vent, they normally aren't going to come over and catch this branch line. So even if you were able to turn and catch the branch line going to the toilet, you're probably not going to catch this line to the lavatory. And again, we're talking a completely inconclusive test. It is not testing everything.
yeah.
That's why we always go back to a sewer water test.
So highly recommend the sewer water test versus the camera, but just one more time. So somebody coming in from the outside, they're going to go in through this main, potentially hit this lavatory sink, but completely bypass the toilet and the shower.
It depends on how it's ran. Normally you run the drain to the bigger fixture. So they probably ran a 3 or 4 inch line to the toilet. I mean, they had to. So they probably branched off and caught this lavatory. If this branch line has a break in it and there's no mud in the bottom of the sewer line right there where you do have the camera, you may never see that break. There could be a separation you don't see at all. So
that's water leaking under the slab, and the camera would never see it, and it's still causing heaving because we see this little crack in the floor right here, that's in a perfect pattern from the toilet kind of over to the sink. So as an inspector, that would be the first reason I would want to see, hey, let's do a sewer water test just to make sure that everything's cool. But the fancy guy that says, oh, I got a camera and I'm going to put it down there. It makes that real estate agent feel good because they got a guy that has a toy, but does he really know what he's using properly? And that's going to could come back to bite him.
And I'm not going to say they're not using it properly. They may know how to use it properly. Look, I've been doing this 41 years. I would have a hard time pushing a sewer camera in all the way to get this. And if I've got to go onto the roof and go through every vent, if there's a branch on the vent pipe and I'm trying to turn a big camera in 1.5 inch line maybe, it's almost impossible to do.
Yeah.
The water and sewer test is the only accurate way to just verify there's not a leak. The good thing about the cameras, it will identify a major break if your camera's in the right spot. Like I said, if the major break is in the wall right here, it's never going to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's down below it where it turns up, because your camera's going to go right here. So things like that tend to be an issue. It doesn't see everything. And think about it too. A crack in a piece of pipe looks like just a line.
Yeah.
Who's to say it's not
It's
just
a
a
molding line or a casting line.
And somebody
or whatever.
sees a line and it's like, hey, the water level backed up, so it created a line of demarcation there. Now you've got a line on the pipe and say, well, it may be a leak, it may not be a leak.
Yeah. So all video tests are pretty much going to come back inconclusive. So next we're going to actually grab the camera, put it down the line. But when we come back, we're going to talk about costs of different tests, different types of cameras that are out there, and kind of some of the pitfalls one way or the other, because you pay for what you get, right? So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back. We found a spot that's here in the laundry room. Luckily, the washer dryer's not here. Sometimes it's here when we're doing inspection, but today it's not. So Roger was pointing out an interesting fact about this clean out.
These cleanouts are great because literally you can unscrew this plug, get into the sewer line, And instead of going on the roof and running the camera through the vent, you can actually put it in here. You just got to be very careful. You know, the cameras have the spring head on them. A lot of times, and I've done it myself, you can get a camera caught in there because it doesn't have a good long radius, and trying to get it back out can be a pain. So this is good to use, but it's also something you got to be worried.
And that's because it's a sharp turn, like right here.
Yes,
Specifically.
think about it. Your pipe goes up and down right here in the
Yeah.
wall. This is either a test tee or a sanitary tee with a plug on it. And as close as it is to the wall, it's probably a test tee.
Yeah. All right. So stay tuned. We'll be back.
Okay, so right here's your first branch, and remember these lenses are cameras. Some of them don't level, so we kind of flip it and turn it. Now we know that this branch here is actually coming in from this side. Matter of fact, let's do this. Kyle, will you grab some booties? If you'll go inside the front door. Actually, have you got yours on you, Clayton?
What do you need?
If just go in and flush that toilet. Yep. So what we're looking at is probably a Y going off this way. So when he flushes this was what we think goes over and catches that first toilet. Now we do see. Okay, so the water came in from right there. And right now we're underwater. And now it clears out. What I'm trying to see, Mr. William, will you look at this? Tell me if you, oh. Hey Kyle, go ahead and grab some booties. I want you to go and do that too. I don't think we'll need any test balls and hoses and stuff like that. So Clayton, what I want you to look at right here, this looks like it could be dirt, mud, roots. But he's fixing to flush it again. They've got it. Did you leave a lavatory running or a tub running or something? I think William went in. He probably did that. Hey, William, I want you to look at this. Tell me if this looks like roots to you. Okay, now he's going to flush it again. So there comes all your water out of that same location. So right now we're underwater. And the water level's coming down. And he's going to flush it again. Right. It looks like a pile of roots right there coming in from that toilet, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Break this up.
Because see, it looks like it. I don't know for sure.
That's weird that there's like a nut that's leaking more.
I try to look for
After the
spider.
fact. Why would it
like-
continue to
yeah.
leak right now?
There could be more roots down there that built up. I mean, it could be a lot of different things. All right, let me go past it though for right now. Okay, so there's another branch. The water line is right here, so this is the bottom, so this goes off to the right. So from the layout of this house, I would say it either goes over to that vent pipe we looked at, or it goes over to the kitchen sink. And it's a reduced line size, because you can tell it's not as big as the full size there. And we're about 18 feet in, and we could actually go in and mark all that. But see, this is the part that I was telling you about a while ago.
Those little lines.
Yeah, you see a line like that. Is that a crack or is it not? Are these black things here cracks or not? To me, as a plumber, they're probably not. But if I'm paying $300,000 for a house, I don't want to know probably.
Yeah.
I want to know, is there a leak under this house or not?
Yeah.
And that's not what you're really getting. Let's see, that's just toilet paper buildup and
hanging
stuff
up
like
on
that.
the
Yeah.
edge.
Now the camera's actually laying right down in here because it's laying in the bottom of the pipe. Now I talked to you about channel rot. Imagine if there was a section of pipe about 2 inches wide gone, and that camera head drops.
Drops in out of the pipe.
And then it's like, okay, how do we get it back now? Okay, so we've got our water line here, so this one goes off to the right too. So the pipe still has not changed directions. So we're still going straight back. So now we have another branch going over, probably for either another restroom back there or over for that lavatory or the washing machine box we looked at. And again, it's a smaller line size. See how you can see the pipe,
Yep.
the edges here.
And even that sort of looks like a crack on the screen there. That right there, it looks like it's cracked.
And it looks like it, but it's probably not. Look how, the pipe's got dirt, sewage, anything like that all the way around it. Now, here's the bottom of the pipe, so now we're gonna turn up. So if you look, well, there's an offset in the wall, but now you've got something else tied
Yeah.
in here, and possibly something else
So we've already missed 3
up
turns.
above. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a camera 38 feet back. How do I make it turn and go down that line to double check?
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't work very well, does it? Can you do it?
No.
And I mean, no, and I always ask.
Yeah.
Because there are some plumbers that'll tie string to it and they're like, yeah, I can pull on the string and make
the other
it
one
turn
set
and,
up over
and do
here.
this and that. But I mean, I don't want to go up too terribly far. And will it let me? Because see, remember, I'm 40 feet back, so now I'm trying to push the head of a camera
it ain't-
that's 40 feet
yeah,
away.
it's not
And don't get me wrong, this stuff is good. It's rigid, but I don't want to,
Force it.
yeah.
You can get that
And it reduces, which to me is wrong. There should be one full line size vent out, and that's the first thing I noticed when I walked around. All the vents were 2 inch.
All right, Clayton Bailey, we're back. So we talk about a sewer water test,
we
right?
do.
And so that's one of the things that we recommend, that I think all inspectors should recommend, is a sewer water test, no matter the age of the house, because you get tree roots and crazy things happen. So we've talked about the camera and how it can be, we don't know, but let's talk about the sewer water test.
But one thing you mentioned, Clayton, I love the fact you said no matter how old the house is. I've talked to a lot of plumbers that test new houses, and they say 1 out of 10 actually has a leak on it.
Yeah.
A brand new home.
Yeah, they forgot to put on the glue that day.
Yeah, the
right?
glue, or they didn't solder it. Whatever it is, they did something wrong. But anyway, what we've got here, we've got a 4-inch test ball. Now, this is great to do when you have two-way cleanouts, because we can literally take the test ball, stick it in here, and what we want it to do is we want it to stop right here between them. The reason being is that when we go in and put the test ball in here and get it right about where we want it, what we can do is get it here, fill it up with a bicycle pump, but then what we do is we fill it up with water here, and as you see, it takes it up into the slab. So the water is all the way up into the slab level. What this does, that puts us in a position now that when we fill with water here, we can look at it. The water's gonna come to the top of the clean out, and the good thing about it is, if it doesn't go down, there's not a leak under there. Doesn't matter how many lines there are, how many anything, and it doesn't put pressure on the house, so it's not really a hydrostatic test. There's no external pressure applied. There is no external pressure applied. So, and I've had engineers come say, no, I've been told you're gonna blow apart my sewer. All we do is plug it up and make sure it holds water. That's what the sewer is designed to do anyway.
Yeah. So they're just going to fill it up. They're going to come in, mark this line, fill, and if that line goes down, okay, now we got a problem.
Now you know you got a leak.
Now we got a leak. We got to find the leak. But if it holds, that's great news, and that's what we're always hoping for.
And the neat thing about it is, look, we're set up, this is a very short hose. We've got hoses up to 100 feet long, and we've got cameras and hoses and balls and everything that we can literally isolate any line under a house to help tell you exactly where the leak is.
And so we're going to shoot some other video here in just a second of like the city clean out and where that's coming to this line. So just remember, in Austin, San Antonio, Houston, they don't have the luxury of having 2 clean outs. They have 1 clean out. So you got to go back and find that city line. We'll show you a little video of that. All right, so we're back here at the city clean out. So notice we're closest to the street. Roger, how deep is this? We just measured this.
Yeah, we pulled out, this one here is 5 feet deep. And like I said, up at the house is about 3. So there's a good amount of drop coming across here.
Okay, and then just you're going to notice one of the things from the city clean out going straight across, you have those trees, that tree, so we could get, you know, potential tree roots, that kind of thing. When we do new construction, we're always amazed at how many times they just plant a tree right on top of that city thing. So crazy things that happen. So here we are, we're wrapping up the sewer lines, talking about the most expensive problem in real estate. So before we go, just wanted to ask Roger, so what does a test, the sewer water test, cost from a plumber?
Sewer water test is normally, $350 to $550 depending on how intense the plumber gets, what all he's testing, how long he's testing it, and things like that. It's well worth it though. It literally determines whether there's a leak on the water line, a leak on the sewer line, and that can keep from having foundation problems. And that can really get expensive.
Which is huge in North Texas because that's what causes foundation movement is water. So you either got bad drainage or there's a sewer issue. And it is the most expensive problem to have in real estate. So make sure that you hook up with a professional like Roger to get this sewer water test done. And so just we're kind of wrapping up talking about the inspectors doing cameras. Like what does that camera equipment cost?
Camera equipment you can get anywhere, you can spend anywhere from a couple of grand to about 15 grand. You want to make sure that you've got location equipment, so you're also going to want a locator, which is another $1,500 to $2,500. You're also going to want to be able to video record it. That way you can show the customers exactly what they see and they know you're not just making stuff up.
Yeah.
And that way they see what you see. So anywhere from a couple of grand to 15 grand from the camera, then the locator. But the peace of mind that it leads to, you talked about this being the most expensive repair. I've seen up to $100,000 sewer line replacement jobs that people had to do because they bought a house and a year or two later they're like, wait, we're having problems. They start checking it out and everything needed to be replaced. It's on them now.
Yeah. It is the most expensive problem to have in real estate. So just make sure that you're handling it the right way and calling the professional. Hey, Roger, thanks for joining us today.
You, sir.
I appreciate it. We'll see you on the next episode. So we're going to be talking about Trek updates with Roger and the different things that we have to talk about as inspectors, and we'll see you on the next episode.